insurance nationwide.
This is Newstalk.
And you're listening to Breakfast Briefing here on Newstalk with me, Shane Beatty, for your Friday morning. Don't forget you can WhatsApp us 087 1400 106. It's 17 minutes past 6. Well, it's been a cold week here. It's absolutely miserable in Dublin this morning, by the way. Baltic and lashing rain. So you might be looking forward, if you're lucky enough, to getting away somewhere warm this summer. But Irish holidaymakers are being warned about issues in Greece, Spain and Portugal. So all the places we like to go. Leading travel journalist Eoghan Corry joins me now. Morning, Eoghan.
Oh, good morning. First world problems, the issues we're facing compared with the weather we're facing this week, Shane.
Freezing and miserable. I don't want to depress people anymore on Valentine's Day. It's already grim enough. But people need to be aware of what's going on. Let's start with Santorini, which it looks like a beautiful island. Not sure so beautiful with all these earthquakes, though.
Yeah, it's tremors. It's a series of tremors. There's lots of them. You can follow them, track them on the meteorological sites and particularly the Greek ministry. But what it is doing is creating a lot of waves which are not just shaking the ground in Santorini, not very much, but shaking the tourism sector. It's been very well publicised. There isn't actually danger to life. The Irish Department of Foreign Affairs has helpfully updated its site and said don't go near ruined buildings, things like that. But there aren't a lot of Irish tourists in Santorini at the moment. The flights, we have flights from Aer Lingus and Ryanair direct from Dublin. They don't start till the summer. The big knock-on effect from this, Shane, is that this is the action time for reconstruction, refurbing of hotels in Santorini. Those workers have been moving out, and the guest workers or the holiday workers, seasonal workers that normally go to Santorini are looking elsewhere, places like Crete. By the way, Santorini is the only Greek island affected by this. Greece has a massive islands.
We fly directly, Ryanair flies there. April, the flights start up again?
Yeah, that's it, yeah, and October, or April to October. So the real issue is that will Santorini be ready for tourists, and will they even book? Because it's the time, January is a big booking time. There's still booking going on at the moment. People are looking elsewhere. It's not looking good for Santorini summer. But I have to say, it's somewhat overstated that tourists are fleeing from the island and that people are in danger. It isn't a major fault line like famously California is. There are tremors, always have been. People who know Greek classical history will know about the wonders of the world knocked by earthquakes in the past. But Santorini is not really a danger zone. It's just the knock-on effect for this is going to affect their summer.
Yeah, and it affects confidence in Santorini. Okay, that's Greece, Santorini. Next is Alicante, very popular with the Irish.
Yeah, Alicante has a bit of a clampdown on tourist misbehaviour. And anybody who wanders around Temple Bar at a weekend knows that tourists are prone to misbehaving. So there's a whole set of local bylaws. Spain is quite complicated politically because there's so many local municipalities. It dates back to the Reconquista that there are so many of them, and they all have their own local laws. But the Alicante police are moving in on closing time in pubs. That sounds a bit more dramatic than it is. It means that it's 1 a.m. You know, it's not like 11 o'clock in the Ireland, and nightclubs are supposed to close at 3 a.m. and
only going out at 1 a.m. on. That's the problem.
Well, Shane, your shared love of going out very late is a very Spanish thing as well. It's really impossible to get a booking in a Spanish restaurant at 10:30 or 11 o'clock at night, because they like to move out late. But the problem here isn't the local. The problem here is misbehaviour by tourists. And it's not. There is a sort of a spillover. Alicante is a bit plush. It's sort of all that beautiful marina. Some of your listeners will be very familiar with it, with all the yachts. Just up the road in Benidorm is famous for being boisterous. And I think Alicante's major fear is they're going to turn into Benidorm. There's no chance of that. Benidorm is going to be Benidorm forever. Benidorm's history is very interesting. It was during the Franco times. They were one of the first places. Somebody went on a motorbike to Madrid to Franco to get permission for women to wear bikinis back in the 1950s. And Benidorm has never quite shaken off the reputation, including a TV series on one of the satellite channels.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. So anyway, 3 a.m. for the nightclubs closing, 1 a.m. for pubs.
you really wouldn't notice it. You really would not notice it in Alicante because the class of tourists that goes to Alicante is a little bit different from Benidorm, and they're not shutting down Benidorm anytime soon.
Hey, on to the next one now, the Algarve, another place the Irish love. They're getting very strict in Albufeira. I thought that was a party town.
Yeah, the party towns obviously come up with the worst of the misbehaviour, and you see there's no shortage of it on the social media, people jumping on top of cars and stuff like that. The Albufeira wants to keep the party atmosphere, but they've introduced again bylaws, a whole series of bylaws which include covering up. I think what the headlines have sort of concentrated on swimwear, but I think the problem now was people wearing not enough swimwear, and the police have been given quite extreme powers, €1,800 fines. Well, I don't think it's a bikini on the street problem. It's basically something that's regarded as offensive, hugely offensive, and urinating in public, all of those sort of things, which will get you into trouble. It has to be said in almost every resort. But what they've done is they've introduced pretty draconian fines because a lot of the bylaws were already in existence, but people were pretty much ignoring it. And the headlines has concentrated on bikini and swim shorts. Don't wear them down the street. You can wear them in the beach area.
The shorts without a top, I assume. That's the issue there.
You can imagine what goes on, Shane. Actually, you better not imagine at this time of the morning. Algarve is such a favourite with the Irish.
The Irish love it. The Irish absolutely love it.
We have nearly 400,000 people going to the Algarve in the summer, and we've villages, entire villages, which are famous among the Irish people, and they are beloved among the locals more so than other nationalities, which shall remain nameless. But just to give you in business terms, there are more Irish visitors to the Algarve than from Germany, which is the number one outbound tourist market in Europe. We are so associated with the Algarve at this stage. And the Faro.
Yeah, well, I was in Villamora last year.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, shocked at the amount of drugs on sale, but anyway, that's the story for another day. Finally, prices going up or down for summer holidays?
Michael O'Leary, I had him on stage I was moderating Destinations International Global Leaders Forum in Dublin this week. He says marginally up. The reason is that aircraft are coming late and there's all sorts of supply chain problems down the line. He did say the same thing last year, but he ended up reducing his fares because the demand didn't match what he expected. But he doesn't expect to do that this year. If you see a bargain on the web or wherever you see it, jump now, because I don't think they'll be coming down between now and summer.
All right, very good. Eoghan, thank you very much.
Always a great pleasure, Shane.
And same to talk to you, travel journalist Eoghan Corry. Thank you. Of course, you could just stay in Ireland.